Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So Mydei is out on the beta testers server or the creator experience servers, and it seems like they haven't removed the biggest part of his kit, which we will talk about today. Let's talk about Mydei's gimmick. Is Mydei's gimmick the worst gimmick in Star Rail? So first, let's talk about Mydei's kit that is relevant for this video. His skill reduces his HP by 50% of his current HP. So if you have 50% HP on his next turn and he uses his skill, he only consumes 25% of his max HP because it's current HP, obviously. Now his talent is the biggest part of his kit. For every 1% of HP he loses, he gains 1 charge, and when he gets 100 charges, he heals 25% of his HP back and enters an enhanced state. During his enhanced state, he has an enhanced skill which doesn't consume any skill points. His defense is reduced to 0. His HP is increased by 50% of current HP. This isn't a max HP boost. This is a independent multiplier, so it's not like 50% max HP up. It's just a 1.5 HP boost at the end of everything, which is quite nice. He has an auto revive, and if he triggers his auto revive, he gets back up to 50% of his max HP. And thanks to his traces, he can do this up to 4 times before he finally dies. And he has an automatic enhanced skill use. And the biggest part that we will be talking about is that during his enhanced state, he will automatically use his enhanced skill at the beginning of his turn. So he essentially has a auto battling. Now if he gets 150 points during his enhanced state, he will gain an extra turn like Zila, meaning he doesn't drop duration on his buffs, there's no action value loss. Effectively, it works like a counter. And during this extra turn, he will do his super enhanced skill. Again, like a counter, it just kind of exists. Lastly, his ultimate taunts all enemies for 2 turns, which is quite long. He heals 20% of his HP when he uses his ultimate and gives 20 talent points. And his super enhanced skill will hit the ultimate target, so you can manipulate his auto battle in some way with his ultimate. Now, let's discuss the biggest part of his gimmick, which is auto battling, and why this is a problem. First, we need to take in mind that many, if not every Star Rail DPS is so simple that auto battling doesn't make a lot of difference. Star Rail isn't really that deep of a game where an auto battle mechanic is something that isn't completely dead, and it does have a merit to exist as a gimmick. Mydei's numbers are high at both high investment and free to play that you can get away with Mydei's auto battle with his ultimate mechanic fixed in. Mydei paradoxically doesn't need a sustain actually because of how much effective HP he has through being revived. In fact, bringing a shielder is actively worse than using sustainless with Mydei. But it is undeniable that Mydei, despite not being anything crazy, is actively handicapping himself. The problem is that Mydei is facing enemies that really take advantage of the worst type of debuff, the bad gameplay debuff. If you look at recent bosses, the statues are mostly 5 targets, and you do want to intelligently use skill on the right targets to break war armor. The boss HP is balanced around this, meaning Mydei's effective damage is lower than others. Nikador, probably his worst matchup, needs you to target these statues to bring down Nikador's HP a pretty significant amount, making it a uphill battle for him relying on his raw damage. The Banacademics boss, Mydei is forced to ignore targets because of his auto battling, meaning he is at the mercy of enemy mechanics. The most recent boss he doesn't have an issue with is Hule, and it's been quite a long time we saw him in MOC 12. And with the influx of AoE shilling thanks to Rappa and the Herta, we may not be seeing Mydei's good matchup enemies in a while. You can look at the current AS, that is exactly the type of hell Mydei does not want to face. 2 bosses that need frequent target switching. While these bosses still aren't that technically demanding, you don't need like Einstein level gameplay, this isn't Elden Ring. They do require the bare minimum of target switching for non-AoE units. which Mydei fundamentally has the most amount of issues with. He's sort of comparable to Yun Li in a sense that their gimmicks itself does hold them back, but the raw numbers keeps them relevant. But with that said, Mydei and Yun Li's favorite matchups are not that common that you won't be seeing how big those numbers are at their best. I think the worst part about all of this is that these issues are mitigated with his E1 making his super enhanced skill AoE. We got ourselves a bit of a Jade situation here where vertical investment makes them more fight flexible. But anyway. So to address the title, is this the worst gimmick ever in Star Rail? No. First of all, I believe it's a case of bad timing. Simply put, the current environment favors either AoE or target switching, which most limited units either don't have a problem with, or like Fei Xiao can brute force through it with good play. Mydei uniquely does have a problem with it, and unlike Fei Xiao, can't really outsmart his way to brute force it. In older days, this would not have been an issue at all, and the fact that they put Kafka back in MOC for Mydei is a pretty big indication of that. If you put Mydei's gimmick in 1.0 and nerf his numbers to tune to that, he would probably be an S tier character. But at this point, with the increasing number of bosses that actually care about player control, this is no longer true. And to be completely honest, if we take in a number of gimmicks, this is far from the worst gimmick to have. Super Break relies entirely on the toughness bar, which can be taken or locked at any point, which has been done with Sam to stall breakers. DOT is intrinsically too squishy and relies on debuff application to function, which only 2 units consistently have to make them viable on pure fiction. Being too single target focused can also be a rough gimmick that is now seeing worse usage due to the 5 enemies and vice versa. Counter can immediately be nullified by enemies not attacking at all, which they've done plenty of times. Mydei's auto battle gimmick relies on enemies having more depth than your standard gameplay, which either means he's annoying because bosses actually require you to think for once, which would probably be better for the game, or he's really good because the enemies are too basic. One outcome means the game is actually getting better design-wise, and one outcome means Mydei doesn't have anything to worry about. If you rank the gimmicks amongst each other, you'll notice the outright better ones are countered less than the others. So it doesn't mean Mydei's gimmick is intrinsically that much worse, it's just that they prefer other gimmicks these days that he does not want. Either way, the gimmick for Mydei is meant as a way to control him. But the numbers are really high to the point that it works anyway. And if you want to pull Mydei, I don't think you will be disappointed because of how high his raw damage is that you can pretty much make it work anyway. And of course they gave a hotfix on it with E1, which makes me think they won't change the auto battling aspect. I don't know, I've ran out of energy to rant about Hoyo greediness for one day. Regardless, I hope this gave you my mindset about Mydei, and yeah, hope you guys like this video. Like, comment, subscribe, do the algorithm stuff. I'm streaming on Friday for piloting my viewers' accounts, and if you want to join that, check my community post. There's a Discord link there, and you could follow instructions on how to do that and how to register. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you later on Friday. I'm probably going to be releasing a huge video, and I hope this bite-sized video could hold you over for a while, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.